All right, that's your boy Bri. We're over here, and today what we did was we got the old Mopar out. Let me give you a rundown. So what I did is I pulled the cab out, and we went ahead and we got the Mopar out. We pulled it out on the cart, and we went ahead and turned the oil pump on it and rotated the rotating assembly and pulled off the tape off the valve covers and verified that we had oil flowing through all the lifters and the rocker arm rail. But we went ahead and made sure our air box was all sealed off for the winter so nothing tries crawling in there. And of course we've got, before fall time, as promised, I told you we'd get the 86 back out. And what we've got going on here, people, is I've took some Scotch-Brite and went across all the shiny spots and got it all broke down, as you can see. Now the primer's good here still. This here is actually a Pour 15 product that I put on here, a silver Pour 15. Around all the pinch weld. As you can see, we've got the rest of the floor all sanded. We've got the back of the cab all sanded. The only thing we have left is the ceiling. We did get way in the corners, all in the back and around here. We used some Scotch-Brite, like I said, all around that. I went ahead and taped off the data tag on the side of the cab. But as you can see, this restoration, it's a restoration that says we're trying to do it to the best of our ability. We're trying to do it correctly, and we're trying to do it so that we can, at the end of the day, be proud of it. We do have a few little dings in the cab, nothing major. Where are they? Where are they? They're so small you can barely find them. Hold on, I'll find them. I will find them. Okay, here's a little ding right here. I want to fix that. Now, as you know, I've already welded the front of the cab all the way around. The top cab skin came off, and that's not something normally, how do I put it, in the manual you're able to do. But what I did was I went through here with a disc, and I cut all the basically the spot welds. Now you say, why didn't you just take the spot welds out with a spot weld remover? Well, you really can't, because the inner, unless you pull the inner roof off, which is way more work than you need. Now what I'm going to do here is come in here with a couple of, I can reach into this one, and the center's going to get bolted. So all I have is from the corner over to there, and the corner of that one over to here that needs to be, I mean, it probably wouldn't go nowhere, but I'm going to go ahead and come in here and just put a couple stitch welds. Okay, and put a couple stitch welds here, just so that when I'm done I can run my seam sealer in here and cover up the welds. And then we'll be, how do I put it, we'll be looking fine as wine. Now, the back of the cab has looked really, really good. There was a couple little dings. I'm trying to find them. Oh, right here. Here's the other one. I'm glad I caught this when I was sanding it. Okay, there's a little bitty ding right there. See it, guys? Right here. There's a little bitty scratch right there. I want to fix that. Because this cab actually, I mean, how many of them do you see like that where even the molding holes aren't routed out? I mean, all the way down around the... this is the original cab. This is from California, okay? But as you can see, that's not damaged back here, people. That's just where they bend the cab from factory, okay? But look at the pinch welds on this. There's no rust. We'll get right up in there and show you. There's no rust, okay? This cab right here is a cab from California, and this is a California Survivor, people. This is what you get when you don't have the heavy road salts, okay? You get a cab that says, we're gonna be all right. Now what I'm gonna do is come back here and spray back here, get around the back of the rocker. I'm gonna actually get into the rocker as well. There's a hole back here under the bottom. There, I can get in the rocker and spray. And what else? What else? There's one there, let me feel. Yeah, there's more of them back in here, I can feel them on the back side. Let's see if I can get you under there to take a look. Because you know what, people, I'm not hiding nothing on this cab. This baby's clean. Okay, here's some rubber grommets here. There's one up front there. There's one here. okay? We'll get all these out and we'll fluid film this really good, but look at underneath. There's not a spot of of rust underneath this. The only rust you're gonna find is on this fixture I built, this little wooden fixture. But under here, look at this. This baby's like a brand new truck, you know? But I've got all the numbers on the cab. They're all numbers matching. They put them in these inconspicuous spots, so if you ever had someone stole it, you'd be able to find it. But there it looks like there's a little bit of grease under there, under here, from where the, how do I put it, probably the transmission or the U-joint slung some grease up on there. But all that did was protected it. But yeah, that's, I mean, look at them spot welds, and there's not even a drop of rust on them. Now this is a California Survivor. You can see the shape this thing's in. Okay, look down that rocker. That is all factory steel, people. There's no rust or salt that got to that. But at the end of the day, what I will do when I'm done is I will fluid film this really good, and I'm going to come in here and fluid film inside here. These are just temporary screws holding it to that cart that I built. But look at even the factory seam seal is really good. There's a little port right there that I've got to get in. But as you see, I sanded all this in here, so when I spray it, we're going to go ahead, and only thing we have left is up in here. You see how it's a little glossy? We're going to go ahead and sand that. We're using the, now there's the center part there before I put the, excuse me, let me back up. We're using Scotch-Brite on that. That's all you need to rough it up. I'm going to go ahead and build the entire dash, and this type of the Mopars, a lot of them, you set the whole dash all built and everything in. But before I set that in, once I do that, I'll be able to get the clutch assembly, which all the clutch assembly, all the parts, hold on a minute, all the clutch assembly, all the parts, all the things that I've been working on are all in plastic bags, and they've already been primed and painted. All the bushings are there, everything. This truck's gonna, when it goes back together, it'll go back together a lot quicker than what it came apart. But as I say, the dash is all gonna be put together as one unit and dropped in. The heater core assembly and all that will go in with it. And then before I do that though, I have to get the inside of this cab all prepped and painted. I'm gonna go with I decided I'm gonna paint the truck white. I'm gonna go with a polar white. We're gonna go with a epoxy primer on the inside. I gotta go buy some white epoxy primer Monday. So we're gonna seal it all in. Now epoxy primer is not primer, okay? Even though it says primer, it's not a primer. It's actually a sealer, people. It's a sealer. It's a two-part, basically epoxy, think about it, two parts. So it seals what you put down. So we're gonna go ahead and put a good two-part epoxy primer on it, a sealer. And then what we're going to do is go in there with a polar white urethane, which is a single stage, and we're going to do all the inside of the cab. We're going to do all the areas that are not going to be on the outside, basically, because what I have to do is we're going to use a base coat, clear coat on the outside. But let me give you a rundown up here. I went and cleaned all this out, so let me show you. As you see, I've got the seam sealer in. All this has been repaired. If you remember right, they had a little hole up front. I got all the new metal in there. Okay, and that's all been repaired. The seam sealer's in. It's all the way around the doors. Now, I'll say this. The seam sealer from the factory was really, really lacking on these trucks. They really did a kind of a halfway job on them. But I made sure that I went through, and as you can see, I did a really, really tight job on it. I put tape down and sealed and pulled the tape off when I was done. But all this needs to be reblocked out, and I'm going to go ahead and put some epoxy on that as well. But before I do that, people, I know I'm rambling around, but I've got to get this back welded in, and I just went and got some gas today, so we're happy. We've got the 86 Ram out, and we're getting her together. She's going to be a beautiful truck. As soon as I'm done with the dash, we're going to go ahead and get the windshield ordered. I just wanted a brand new window, so I'm going to put a brand new windshield in there, and we'll get the new gasket kit and all that. But as you can see, This drip rail, this has all been rebuilt. I'm telling you what, that was quite a task to do. If you want to see that, you'll have to go through some of my old videos. But take a look at that. I mean, I'm not, it's not my profession as a body man. But what I will tell you is, there's a guy on here on the YouTube called SWRNC, my friend Pete. He's in Moab, Utah now. But everything I learned, which I didn't know anything prior to doing this, really, not much on auto body. I watched him for several years. I went to his DIY auto school, and all the credit really goes to Mr. Pete out in Moab, Utah. He's basically a mentor to people that he don't even realize he's mentoring. But at the end of the day, not only did he show me how to do the technical work and the right processes, what he did was he gave you, how do I put this, the confidence to go ahead and try it yourself and not be afraid and say, you know what, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it right, because as he always says, if you're not doing it right, people, you're not doing it. So we're trying to do it right, we're getting her done, and we're trying to say this is what we've got in the future to be putting together. Now the body will be done, and the frame is all done, and what we're going to do is couple that up come spring of 2024. And she's going to go, I know it was a two-tone gray, but we're going to go back, it's going to be polar white. I'm going to go polar white with it, and we're really going to be happy with it, because all the black trim is going to really look nice. Now picture that firewall right there with everything white, even on the inside of the hood and all that. It's going to look pretty killer. The inner fenders, I'm going to paint them black so it kind of offsets it. But as you can see, it's a California Survivor. It is in excellent shape. There is no rust on this truck. There is no rot, and we're very happy with it, and we're getting her done, people. This is Bry. I'm over showing you the little things that matter. You've got to take a day like this when you're home, and you've got to really appreciate the beautiful weather in fall time in upstate New York. Now let me just give you a rundown. Here's the truck. I've got it all wrapped up, but let me get this off here. Now this was put in a two-stage, a urethane black. Now this is just fluid film. I put a little fluid film on there, but look how nice that is. Some durable paint, that urethane. And let me tell you something, I did this 100% all the way around. I've got that in my old videos. And we're getting ready to put this truck in that Connex for the winter. And come spring, we're pulling it out. We're going to go to high country lift on it. We're going to go 4-inch lift on it and see if we can't put some 35s on it. And this thing's going to be really nice when it's all done. It is a 4-speed. It is all been gone through. The motor, transmission, clutch, pressure plate, all that has all been set. The axles have all been checked. The new gear oil has been put everywhere in the axles. You can see the box over there. It's just as clean as the cab. And we're going to get her done, people. We're happy that we've got it, and we're happy that we're saying we are ready to roll come 2024. And we just happen to have all our ducks, how do I say, getting in a row and getting in an order, and we're pretty happy with it. So this is Bry. I'm over here at the farm. We're trying to get the farm trucks ready, and we've got a couple trucks right here. We got the Tacoma 2004. That's a Texas truck. We got the 2010 F250. That's an Oklahoma truck, and we're loving them all. Really, we're loving them all. And you know, this 86 Ram has been about a 3 or 4 year journey now. But when I got it, it was just going to be a beater, and I got it here from California, and I said, whoa, maybe the situation calls for a full force restoration on this, and that's what I did. If you look through my old videos, you'll see how I sanded the frame down. We got her done, and we got her done right. Now I'm into the cab, and the hood, fenders, and all that, doors are just as good a shape. So we will go ahead and get those done. Now let me show you something I got here offline. I believe it was from Eastwood's. I got these fender holders here. Okay, I got 2 of these. And when I'm working on a fender or hood, I'll be laying these out, working on them, and we're going to bring that video to you. This all has to be Scotch brighted, the whole back of the cab. And then, like I said, once I get the top done, we'll give you an up. This is Bry. I've got to go.